What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Donnie B here. Today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of the entire DJI lineup. Now, I just dropped a video yesterday talking about the low light performance of all these cameras. Today we're just going to strictly talk about pros and cons with the idea to help you make an informed decision whether you want to upgrade to a newer camera or you're looking to make your very first DJI purchase. This is excluding drones and the chicken head, the big Ronin. It's just their smaller lineup. They're all great. I would take these anywhere to shoot with them at any time, maybe with the exception of one if it was raining, but they all have their strengths, they all have their weaknesses in their own little way, and we're going to go over all that in today's video. First off, this video is not sponsored. I did purchase each and every one of these cameras with my own money. These are all for sale right now on the DJI website, so I included the Action 4 because it's still on there. Now, I did not script this video, but I've been taking notes for a very long time, and we're going to go over them right now. Alright, so we're going to start with the Pocket 3 for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's first on my list of notes, and number two, it's first in my heart. I really do have a lot of love for this camera. I've been shooting with it since it was released. It has so much going for it. This is the most cinematic out of all of them. You know, they're all action cameras in their own way, but this one really does have the most cinematic feel, and it starts with that 1-inch sensor. For one, it's great in low light situations. Number two, it has true, real, authentic depth of field. It blurs the background. It really does. It's not artificial background blurring. It is true depth of field. It's also the only camera out of the lineup that has autofocus, true dual pixel autofocus. Well, DJI calls it full pixel autofocus, but it has continuous autofocus, it has single point autofocus, and it also has what they call a product showcase, where if you were to hold something up in front of the camera, it would focus on that, and then when you put it down, it would focus back on you. Really is awesome. Number two, it has the best color science, in my opinion. Now, some people might disagree with me, but I feel like this has the best skin tones and color science of all the DJI cameras. It does shoot in D-Log-M. It also has HLG or just standard color profile. It is 10-bit though. 3-axis gimbal for stabilization. Now it looks a lot like what you would see like on the mini drones. Works great for running shots, rolling shots, things like that. And it also has when you stop a shot, when you're panning something and you stop, it has this little subtle ease in that just looks so good. Or even when you start the shot, it just kind of rolls into it. It looks so good. Next up, we have lossless zoom. Now this was added on the most recent firmware update, where they added lossless zoom to a 70mm full frame equivalent. Now the lens by default is a 20mm equivalent, so you basically have two lenses in this. You can't change them while recording, but you can go from 20 to 70. So if you want to do your wide and then tight, you can do it all with one camera without changing lenses. Now the next one, all these cameras are capable of this, which is great built-in audio. That is kind of DJI's thing. You know, you can literally grab any one of these cameras and just start talking, and the audio will come out usable. I won't say it's fantastic, but it is great. It is usable audio. You definitely will get better audio with the DJI mic system, but the built-in audio is fantastic on all these cameras. So that's going to be a common theme amongst all of them. So no shortage of accessories. That's super convenient. You can get mist filters, ND filters, variable ND filters. You can even get wide angle lenses, macro lenses, anamorphic lenses. There is no shortage of accessories for this camera. Now, I even saw recently where somebody has made like a little camcorder looking thing where this goes in there and you've got a full-size camera. One thing that I use a lot is this cage from Ulanzi. It's metal cage, and it's got cold shoes. It's also got the DJI Action mount all over it, front, back, side. I like that a lot. It works really well. Next up, intelligent features. It's got Active Track 6.0. It's got face tracking, where when you power this thing on and it sees your face, it will lock on and it will follow you no matter where you go. It won't do full 360. It'll do about maybe 300 degrees, but it will track you across the shot, and it will do it efficiently. There's also dynamic framing, where if it's not like you want to do face tracking, you just want to track somebody in, say, one of the thirds of the frame, you can set it to do that as well. Oh, this one's great too. Like, this doesn't get enough love. This is a great feature to have, but since it's on a 3-axis gimbal, it has what's called motion lapse, where it will do a time lapse, but the gimbal will also rotate and give motion to it. It looks really good. Very underrated feature that it has. It has a 90-minute record time in 4K, But if that's not enough for you, you can get things like a battery grip. Now this one's from Ulanzi. I do recommend going with the DJI branded one. This one doesn't have like live pass through, so if you're trying to use it for a webcam or something, you can't do it with this one. And it acts a little funny sometimes. It will run the battery down in this before it'll run it down in this. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But definitely you can expand the battery. All right, speaking of batteries, let's start with the cons, because that's one thing that is a downfall to this camera, is that there's no removable battery. When this battery dies, you're going to have to rely on a battery grip of some sort, or try to crack this thing open and replace it yourself, which I don't even know how hard that is to do. But no replaceable battery is definitely a bummer. It has a slight learning curve. It does take some getting used to, you know, panning and tilting and things like that. It takes some getting used to, especially if you're trying to record, like, say, an object and not a person. It just seems like that took me a little while to get used to. Say I'm trying to film something on the desk, B-roll, things like that. It was a little tricky. Gimbal drift is a real thing, and I didn't know it didn't happen at first, but over time it started to kind of just drift a little bit. If it were locked off on a tripod, it would just kind of ease a little bit over. Once upon a time, we had this thing called DJI Care, at least here in the U.S., where if your gimbal started messing up, you could send it back and get a new one. That is no longer a thing. It can look washed out. Now, with that 1-inch sensor, it's taking in a lot of light, and it tends to look a little washed out in harsh, direct sunlight. You can combat that with a ND filter. There's so many of them out there. This is a freewheel. Lately I've been using the variable ND from K&F. Looks really, really good. The color is good on that as well. Expensive. It is the highest priced of the bunch. It's even more expensive than the 360 camera. There are some alternatives that have recently hit the market that go by a different name, and I'm going to make a video on that by itself. But there are alternatives to where you can get the price down just a little bit. Vertical video is limited to 3K resolution. Now, I don't shoot vertical video. That's just me. It's not what I do. But I think that YouTube Shorts is 1080p only anyway. Am I right? Could be wrong. I don't know. I don't do it. And that's it for the pros and cons of this camera. You can't go wrong with this if it's in your budget. If it's out of your budget, you can definitely go wrong with this. But if it's in your budget, I think I've seen it in a lot of places for $5.99. They did increase the price back with the whole tariff thing. It went to $7.99, but I have seen the prices start to come down. When it launched, it was $5.19, which is a great deal then. All right, next up, the Action 5 Pro. This is a great camera too. A very, very good camera. So pros, front and rear screen. It also has 100 gigs of built-in storage. It's actually 128, but the operating system is using about 28 of those gigs. I think it's 105 actually of built-in storage. Great in low light. It's got a pretty big sensor, a 1/1.3 inch. And it also has super night mode. So in super night mode, the ISO goes all the way to 51,200, and it does pretty good. You can check out the other video if you want to see. And so I'm sitting here editing this video, and I totally forgot to mention that the Action 5 Pro also has intelligent features like active track. So what it does, you can only do this in 2.7K. This is being shot on the Action 5, by the way. You can only do it in 2.7K, and what it does is it punches in, it zooms in, and then basically moves. It keeps you in the center of the frame and moves the frame around. Pretty cool feature to have an action camera. Great built-in audio, has good wind noise reduction, works really, really well. Rock Steady, it has Rock Steady and then Rock Steady Plus. Both of those stabilizations work really well with horizon balancing, so anything up to 45 degrees. So if you rotate the camera, the horizon will stay level. Now it does crop in a little bit, and it will only do that in 2.7K, but it's still an option if you're into that. You know, if you're snowboarding or wakeboarding or something like that, it'll definitely keep that horizon level for you. It also is the only camera out of the bunch that will record 4K 120 with audio. That's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. You know, if you're wanting to slow your footage down in speed ramps and you want to keep your audio, and you don't have to go into the slow-mo settings for that, you don't have to with this. Now the Pocket does record 4K 120, but it's in slow-mo, no audio. let's see, 170 degree field of view, super wide, but for the most part, you want to record in standard D-warp. That does bring it in, I think, like 3mm equivalent. But that what it's doing is just taking that warped edge out from that wide field of view. Interchangeable batteries, and this is also the first one to have the 1950 milliamp hour battery. So you just pop the side open and you got a replaceable battery right there. You also see that watertight red ring on there to keep it waterproof. And speaking of waterproof, it is water resistant up to 10 meters without a case. All right, the cons of this camera. Nothing. I love it. It's great. No, I'm just kidding. It does have some flaws. So blooming with artificial light. So if you're indoors and you're sitting under a light like this, that tends to bloom a lot. Street lights in the background tend to bloom a lot. ND filters do fix this though. Oftentimes it can look over sharpened. That's kind of a DJI theme. It's just small sensors. You can't really get away from that without depth of field. But can look over sharpened. You can correct for this in camera through the camera settings. And that's about it for the cons that I have on this camera. It also has the quick release system on the bottom. Oop. This is super convenient when you want to take it off. You know, you can move it to a helmet mount, chest mount, car mount, what have you. All right, now let's talk about the 360, because this is like a double-edged sword. It's one of those like, just record everything and we'll figure it out later, right? Don't recommend this for professional use. I do recommend this for recording your kid's birthday party, softball game, family events, things like that. I do not think it's good enough for professional use. Pros, 360 degree recording. It's great for solo creators. It really is, because it has things like selfie mode and you can reframe later. Selfie mode is awesome because you can almost get a perspective as if you got a cameraman with you. You know, you can get a shot from behind with the invisible selfie stick, or from the side. It gets a full body shot, and it's a cool feature to have. You know, it does remove the selfie stick. The downside to the selfie mode is you have to record it like this. So it's got like a little wonky where it stitches it together. It looks a little weird sometimes, but for the most part, it does pretty good. It also has 105 gigs of internal storage, and it takes an SD card. The battery is the same as the Action cameras, which if you've already got an Action 5 and you're looking to get a 360, that's super cool to have. You can, you know, you can share batteries. It's also the same 1950 milliamp hour battery, which is good for about 100 minutes of recording. Oh, and it also has the same Action style, the Action style quick release on it. Cons. There are more cons than there are pros. Reframing 360 footage can be a chore. And by chore, I mean slows down your workflow. It's just not fun to do. It's a task. You know what I mean? The spherical lenses, these bulbous lenses, tend to show a lot of halation, a lot of, like if you got a smudge or something on there, or even just a little bit of dust, it'll show up. It really makes highlights bloom a lot. Also, there's no super night mode in single lens mode. Single lens mode will go up to 5K, which is awesome. I don't know why that wasn't in my pros. Oh, it is 5K single lens mode. Sorry. So it will record 5K resolution when you're only using one half of the camera. You cannot switch lenses while recording, but if you're in 4K, you can do that. Now back to the cons. No super night mode in single lens mode, and it'll only go to 12,800 ISO. And it's limited to 60 frames per second, no matter what you do. I guess if you're outside the US, you're limited to 50 frames per second. Oh, this is a big one. The 360 and selfie mode files are not recognized by Adobe Bridge or Adobe Lightroom. That's how I import my files. So single lens is MP4, and it will be recognized by those, and you can just import them that way. But with the 360 files, I actually have to drag and drop them into a file. You can't like do previews or anything like that. All right, so real quick, I just wanted to show you this. It was easier to shoot this on my phone than it was to screen record, but this is a folder from the 360 camera. And as you can see, you got several different file types here. You got your low res video, you got your 360 video. This right here, the low res, is just for editing. And then down here, you have all your audio tracks separately. And when you move them over into DJI Studio, Let's just say we'll take this one and drag it over and drag it over. Okay, drag it down. There we go. It's a low res version. It's kind of a but all this translates to this 9 clips. So all that is 9 clips. Isn't that crazy? On the bright side, though, also you can't edit the 360 footage inside like DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro. You have to edit in either the Lightroom app or the DJI Studio. On the plus side, the DJI Studio is okay. It's not bad. You can import audio tracks now, but if I could just leave that out of my workflow, I'd be much happier. The newest release from DJI, the Osmo Nano. And as you see, I got a big old ND filter on there right now. The pros of this camera, unlimited creative mounting options, man. You can stick this thing in the bottom of a cup of coffee. You could put it in a cabinet and open. I mean, it's small. It's thumb size. Look, here's my thumb. Here, it's small. Here's my thumb. Here's the Nano. It's super small. I mean, you can get super creative with this. You can stick it in your cup holder. You could probably stick it in your air vent in your car. I don't know. You can get creative with it. It also uses the same DJI mount. And one thing about that mount is like this is directional on all these other cameras. You can't switch it around, but you can put this one in either direction. Kind of weird. I don't know how they did that with magnets, but they did. It's basically a scaled down Action 5. It does have built-in storage. You can get it in 64 gig or 128 gig. Bad thing about that is it's going to either be 48 usable storage or 100 usable storage. So this right here is waterproof up to 10 meters, but the vision dock that it comes with is not. So you can stick this thing underwater and get some pretty cool shots, but you can't do it with the vision dock. Now let's talk about the cons of it. So similar to the 360, file transfer kind of sucks. So what you have to do is everything is stored to this, and then you have to transfer it to the SD card that's in here. You can't, I mean, there's not even a USB port on this. It's completely sealed up. So you can transfer the files with a USB port that's on the side here, or there's a SD card. So what you have to do is, you can't even do it that way. It is directional. So whenever you go to transfer your files, if you have it this way, where the lens is the same side as the screen, it won't transfer. So you have to put it this way and then transfer the files to the SD card, then remove the SD card, put it in your reader, and so on. Or you could just plug it in USB. The 64 gigs is kind of useless. So you definitely want to buy the 128 version because, like I said, this is only 48 gigs of usable storage and it fills up fast. It fills up very fast. So one cool thing is this lens here is not even the one that came with it. This actually came with, I can't remember if it was the Action 4 or the Action 3, but there's no glass on it. It's just, I think they said it was for night mode because I think it was the Action 3 had a lot of ghosting. This is the lens that actually came with it. It's kind of small. But this one fits the ND filters from the Action 4 and the Action 5. And plus it removes another piece of glass. So I feel like that's got to be helpful for image quality. But you just pop your ND filter on there. I do recommend ND filters for all these cameras. I can't say that enough. At least a CPL. Now for one of the biggest cons of this camera is the overheating. It's an issue, and I had somebody ask me in the comments yesterday that do I recommend it, and I do. I don't regret buying this camera, and I actually use it a lot more than I thought I would. It's just nice to have a small little camera that you can throw on your chest, or you can set on the corner of a desk, or it's convenient, and you can get a good amount of recording with this. The problem is when you have this connected to this, it's charging at the same time that it's recording, and that generates a lot of heat. And I haven't had it overheat when I'm using just this. Every time it's overheated, it's always been in a combination with this. And to make it even worse, when you're using the little protective case, that seems to trap a lot of heat in there as well. Maybe they can fix that over a firmware update, maybe do slower charging, I don't know. But I haven't had a single issue with overheating when it's just been the camera module, only when it's on the vision dock and it's recording this. Now that does cut your record time down a lot whenever you're not charging at the same time. But if you're only limited to 48 gigs of storage, you're not going to be doing a lot of recording anyway. It's really good for short clips, maybe 10-15 minute vlogs, something like that, or just trying to catch a shot of you doing something. I don't recommend it for super long form videos. Like, I wouldn't use this right now to record this video. It would definitely overheat for sure. On a little side note, I just want to know, can y'all hear those fans running on that computer right now? I thought it looked good in the background, but if you're hearing it in this video, I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. But I don't know, I just thought it was a nice touch back there. But moving on to the Action 4. Now, I don't really have any notes on the Action 4, but I can just ramble off a few of the pros and cons. It's a great camera. Like, right now, this thing is on sale for $229. You can't beat that. So this was a huge relief after the Action 3. The Action 3 had a lot of issues with focus. It had a lot of issues. I think the focus was like 30 centimeters away, a foot away is where it was focused. I mean, as an action camera, that's not good. And it also had horrible ghosting, especially at night. So when this came out, this just was a huge relief. Waterproof up to 10 meters. It's got great built-in audio, great noise reduction, wind noise reduction. It's a fantastic camera. Now, it does not have the built-in storage like the Action 5 has, but it is the same sensor, same microphone, same everything. It does not have night mode, so it does go into a low light mode on its own automatically when it detects low light. Like I said in the low light video, there is in the O right there is a light meter, but it does reduce to 8-bit video. Now, all these other ones are 10-bit by default. This one you can choose between 8-bit and 10-bit. You have to be an H.265 to be in 10-bit, so that can be a little bit taxing on your PC. It does have D-Log-M though, so you can record in D-Log-M as long as you're in 10-bit. It also has a smaller battery. It's the same size. Now, the batteries from the Action 5 or the 360 will work in this, but this is only like a 1750 milliamp hour battery, but you're still getting about 90 minutes. I mean, 80 to 90 minutes of record time in 4K 30. All right, well, that's going to do it for this one. I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Let me know in the comments if you appreciate this type of video or if you find it at all helpful. I just, I know these sponsored videos can sometimes be hard to determine what's hype, what's propaganda. This is unsponsored. I use these cameras almost every day, and these are the things that I found to be helpful and not so helpful. So just let me know. Do you like this kind of stuff? If you don't, then I won't ever do it again. But if you do, then I'll continue to make videos like this. I don't know. I'm just trying to find my stride of what's the best type of content for y'all. And I feel like the DJI cameras and the small camera stuff, I feel like y'all appreciate that kind of stuff. So hopefully I help you make an informed decision. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them. I try to answer each and every comment. Sometimes I miss a few, but I try to get back to you in the comments as quick as possible. And as always, take care of yourselves. You know you deserve it. I'm Donnie B, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.